Hi, my name is Lisa, and I'm here with my friends at AllFreeCrochet.com, who asked me to produce a video on the Bullion stitch, also known as the roll stitch. And what I have done here is just crocheted a chain and went across with a double crochet to give me a base to work with. Now the Bullion stitch I found in a vintage book. I love collecting the vintage crochet books. It was from the early 1900s. So the stitch has been around for quite some time. It's a very pretty, kind of a cluster stitch in a sense, but it's tall. It's like a tall roll, hence the name roll stitch. But what we're going to do here is move further back on the hook, because with this stitch we wrap several times around, and then we have to yarn over, pull up a loop, and pull through all of these loops. So we want to keep them a little bit loose, and that's why I come back onto a fatter part of the hook. So for this one I'm going to yarn over 7 times. And then I'm going to hold on to it, keep my finger on it while I slide down, which now they've become loose, and I don't want them to spring off of the hook. So we're going to insert into the next stitch, pull up a loop, and then proceed to pull that loop through all of the loops on the hook. And then we're going to do 1 chain stitch to secure. Wrap 7 times. Now you can wrap as many times as you would like. I have seen patterns where they only wrap 3 or 4 times, and I've seen patterns where they wrap up to 10 times. So if you're designing something yourself and not following a specific pattern, you can certainly play with the amount of times that you wrap to get the look you're aiming for. I'm having trouble here getting through all of those. Let me redo that one. I didn't have them quite loose enough. If they get too tight, you're just not going to get through. Okay, let's try this again. Through that stitch, pull up, and pull through all the loops on the hook. There we go. And 1 chain stitch to secure. And there you go. That is the Bullion stitch. As you can see, it's a very beautiful pattern. Even has a vintage look to it, which would be appropriate, being that it was created so many years ago. I had started another one here to give you an idea of how it would look in the round. I formed a ring, joined it with a slip stitch, and then I crocheted 3 so that I again would have the height that I need for this stitch. So I'm wrapping 7 times. I'm inserting it right into the ring. I'm not going to bother with trying to go through each individual chain stitch. There's no need for that on this. And then I'm pulling through all the loops on the hook. 1 chain stitch to secure, and then just slide it over. As you can see, I'm carrying my tail underneath my stitches here. You can use whichever method you prefer for that. I just didn't want to have to, oops, I didn't want to have to weave it under later. As you can see, I almost yarned over again and pulled through, which we don't want to do with this stitch. I'm glad I caught myself there. And it forms a very pretty flower looking motif when you do it in the round. This is size 10 bedspread weight thread, and I'm using a size 7 hook with it. Then I also picked up an eye hook and some yarn just to give you an idea of what it would look like with the yarn. And I did the same thing. I just formed a ring and did a chain 3 to give me the height I needed. And with the yarn I'm only going 5 wraps because of the thickness of the yarn. Go right through the ring, pick up a loop. Now I have a little bit of difficulty with this because I tend to work with yarn. I tend to work with thread and not with yarn too often. So I really need to practice this stitch on the yarn so I can get a little quicker, because as it is I have to go through each individual loop on the hook or else I get caught up. Do your 1 stitch for security, push it over, wrap 5, through the ring, pull up a loop, and proceed to pull it through all the loops on the hook. One chain stitch for security. Pull it in, and as you can see with the yarn, it's a very pretty flower. This would make an incredible blanket. Also, securing a button in the center and maybe a pin back on the back. You can put it on headbands, you can put it on your purse, you can wear it as a brooch. And there's many uses. You can make these as appliques. A couple of these placed along the neckline of a simple t-shirt would just be extremely cute. So that gives you some ideas, and there are many patterns out there using this stitch, so I hope you have fun practicing with it and perfecting it, and have a good day crocheting. Thank you.